What's up, DMP? What's up, DMP?
What's up, DMP?
Go.
What's up, DMP?
Go.
What's up,
Go.
DMP? What's up, DMP?
Say it again now.
What's up,
Yes,
DMP?
yes.
What's up, DMP? Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of What's Up, DMP. We have a very special guest, Quincy.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming in.
No
Appreciate
problem. I like
it.
that. I like that little rev up in the beginning. It's really nice.
Yeah, we've been doing that for the past little while. I don't know, it's weird. If you get a chance to look at the other episodes, we do like a special late night episode, and it just ramps up from there. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Once again, we aren't your usual What's Up DMP hosts. You know, I'm just here. Adam, it's
Braden.
And
Yeah.
as we said earlier, we have our very special guest flew in all the way from Toronto. Well, Mississauga.
Mississauga to Toronto, Toronto to Thunder Bay. Actually, you know, I thought about driving to Thunder Bay this time, and then I looked at the route and how long it would take and the gas I would spend, and I decided, no.
It's better to fly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Yeah.
Although I did lose my glasses on the flight, which is kind of sucky. I saved myself. I gotta thank Michelle for that one. Oh man, it kind of sucks, but I'm gonna go get some replacements today. It's all good though. Flight was nice. Flight was so simple,
solid.
smooth. I didn't even realize from the time I sat in my seat and tucked in my seatbelt or fastened my seatbelt, we were off in the air. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just gonna listen to this podcast. Blah 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 blah. Not this podcast, but I didn't know this was a podcast. But I decided to listen to a podcast, and before you know it, I was on the ground, and I'm like, oh, it's over already. Oh, okay, all right. And then it was so fast, the transition.
That's the thing, right? I don't know. The flight to Toronto to Thunder Bay is you're up in the air for 5 minutes. It feels,
exactly.
And then you're down. It's
exactly.
Okay, cool. You know.
And that was it. Fun fact: on your trip to Toronto, bring your flight attendant some candy and say, "Hey, I saw this in the seat. Wink, wink. Earlier. Here, I think you should have it. You know, because it looks like you're gonna have to deal with some pretty unfortunate people who are very entitled. You know, I'm glad you're writing that down.
Yeah.
It's a good tip. You know. Hey, no, it's good to know. Honestly, especially with a group as big as ours.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's solid. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually sorry. I don't mean to interject, but
No,
I'm
but
really impressed with the studio and where it's come from the broadcasting brand to the digital media production, and how broadcasting kind of had an old connotation where you were going into studios. You were going into film because there was a cross connection with film program back in the day. But I'm really, really glad that this program is upgraded and kind of but has been finally hit the ground running with the 21st century, because nowadays you see every second person and their mother popping up a YouTube channel, and they're starting it and they're doing the stupidest stuff, but they're still getting views. They're still branding themselves. They're still doing their own thing, and they're prospering. And for this program to come and help students, not only from here, but it'll gather students from all around the world, and then they'll be able to bring that skill back to their home country, or they'll be able to bring it back to their part of Canada or their part of the U.S. or whatever, South America, blah 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 blah. But they'll be able to bring those skills, and maybe they'll be able to help someone, right? Because the more you're able to get your face and your thought and your message out there, the more you're going to be able to hopefully help people, or do some stupid stuff.
Do your own
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
No.
That's one thing I should have said before. Yeah, you're a former broadcasting student.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Okay, yeah, cool. So just to preface that beforehand.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, kind of going off of that, when I joined this program, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, or how to even remotely start making a video, or go on air like this, you know. And so if you go back to first semester and you look at stuff that I was doing, I can't I couldn't do this, you know. Even just have the confidence to come on camera and talk to somebody, you know?
Our earliest show, The Hoot, where we talked about film, video games, and music. Just seeing everybody's evolution of their on-air persona go from there to where it is now, and even seeing all of our first years who are currently in there doing some work with just seeing them go, they're all very shy and closed off, but then like second semester, something's in the water here, and it just hits.
Like Mike, Mike, Michelle, Steve, Renee, and Dave Funk. I don't know if you guys have heard of or had Dave Funk.
No, I don't think so.
Dave Funk was like, he was the sound guy. He was the audio guy. Like, granted, I'm pretty sure like Steve or Mike they're helping you with the sound, but like these people are treasures, and you should treasure them and cherish them.
Absolutely.
Like Mike, Michelle, Steve, Renee. I'm looking at you. All of you.
Whatever camera it is.
I'm calling you out, whatever camera. Even that one.
You got 5 different cameras. Hey, let them know. Let them know what's going on.
All of them have been such a wonderful help to like evolve into where we are now, and just learning things, because like a lot of them underplay their role in the industry, which is like they really need to, like, Steve, show us what you've done. Like he has a demo reel.
At the same time, though, like I feel like if they were to show you what they've done, and it's the best of the best of their work, right? It would kind of make, especially if it was first years, it would kind of make them feel intimidated. It would kind of make them feel like, oh, wow, should I be in this program still?
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, you don't want to shy them away, right? You like you want to make sure that. I
apparently I was an upsetter or something. So okay, we're good.
Yeah, you don't want to like. I think that's why they're showcasing their past students' work to kind of get them on that connection level, because you can show them.
Apparently I'm still not good enough. Cool. Okay, there we go. We're good. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Do I need to move to?
No,
no.
we're good. It's just me apparently. Okay, cool.
Yeah. If you show them, if they show their work, it'll be like a Titan showing how to create the Earth to a human, right? Whereas if they show their past students' work, they'll show like a Titan showing, hey, this is how a human kind of built up himself and became a king, blah, 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 right? So it's getting that connection level of a student, especially like just name dropping a student or a past student of mine. It'll still, like, if it's really good, and it'll make them fear like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'll be as good as that. But for some people, it'll also make them feel like, okay, maybe I can actually do this, and maybe I can do something along those lines. It'll give them ideas, and then those thought ideas will blossom into something else. Like for me, I can't even remember what film that what documentary series that I saw, but I think it was Renee's documentary class. Or no, it was Steve. Steve was running a documentary class at that time.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so we had like help of Mike and Renee and Michelle on that for consultation. But for my group, I was the camera operator, but I found the subject. We did a sword school that was right outside of Thunder Bay. I'm not sure if they're still here now, but it was a Japanese sword school, and I was still am taking like Japanese karate at the time. And so I was like, okay, there's that connection for me. So I'm going to go in and try and like see if I can get them to do a documentary series with them, right? So I went there, and we did the whole thing. And I found out, I guess later on, that after I graduated, I found out that our film was, or not film, sorry, I keep saying film for some reason.
It's all good.
Because I hung out with films and like the rest. Anyways, our documentary was put into an film festival, I think a local film festival, and I think we won first place. So that was
awesome.
That was pretty like a good message. And I want, like, Steve, if you're seeing this, please my email, I'll give you to after, but like just email me, or like see if you can't send it to me. Like the doc, I really love to see it, because like I remember the hard work I put into that, and I would really, really love to see it. But when you're talking about like there are treasures, but they want to bring out the treasure in you. You know, I know you can probably like not drop that line or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like real though, because like they've been doing this for however long, so they know the ins and the outs, and like even now too, how it's merged with social media and like all of that. Even if like harmonize. Cool. The higher note. There we go.
Okay, we're good.
That was pretty good.
Okay, cool. Solid.
Okay.
We're like whenever. Okay, so hold on. Quincy's new. So sometimes Carson will occasionally, or even if it's me, if me and Carson switch, we'll like hold up our hand in the back room and like we'll signal each other, and that just means to like just stop whatever we're doing and just sing into the microphone.
Yeah.
So I mean that's it. It's I don't know. So I'm glad you got to experience that.
That was
that's
amazing.
cool.
All right, so you mentioned that your documentary was submitted after you graduated. Now, which year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2010, and I'm not sure if you guys were probably in like high school or like starting or grade 8 or something like that, but I don't even know. No, you would be like elementary school.
Yeah. In 2010, I'm a bit older. I'm 25.
Okay.
So, you know.
Yeah.
I got something to say about that afterwards, but like,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. So like I was in grade in 2010 in the spring. I was in grade 9 because I entered grade 10 in 2010 fall. So
okay.
I think I was in grade 7, so elementary school. Yeah,
Okay.
roughly. Yeah. I'm 22.
Yeah,
so,
some people like in so in 2010 I graduated, and then I decided to like put my resume out there for all the jobs that I could find, broadcasting jobs, whether it's editing, whether it's writing, whether it's anything, right? I got my internship in little town called Lloydminster, and when I say little town, I mean little town, not like Thunder Bay little town. No, I'm talking like it's Fort William.
Oh,
Okay.
Like it's that size.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Where was it? Like, did you? Have
It
to go
was
to,
in
Ontario or something?
it was actually a border town.
Okay.
Like literally on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta.
Wow.
So you were driving in from Saskatchewan, and then as soon as you cross the border, boop, you're in Alberta. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
It was and I worked at like a radio station as like just a camera assistant, and then they helped me do some like stuff around the studio, some writing, some audio production, some other stuff, but like there wasn't really any other like jobs. And then when I went back to the job market, I couldn't really find anything. But at that time, I found out that I had gotten accepted to Wilfrid Laurier University in the fall of 2010. So I was like, all right, cool. So maybe I'll just keep going the university route. But I found like nothing really interesting in the university route. So I kind of dropped out of that. And that kind of led me to working at the airport in 2014. Fun fact, if you work at the airport and you start in January, be careful of plane engines that are still spinning and that are coming through to you, especially when there's a blizzard.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to me on my first day.
So that was
fun.
really?
Yeah, that was just a little side note. But like, yeah, just make sure like you're safe and like you're outside.
Were you like pelted with ice?
No. It was just like a whiteout blizzard, and like the 777
Oh
engines. Yeah,
my God.
they're freaking massive, and they can probably like take up the size of this room.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, just make sure that you're like safe
watching.
and all. Yeah,
Keep it out. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, just getting back to me, like I worked at the airport outside for like 7 months, and then I decided to work inside at security for like the past 5 years. It was a great paying job, but at the same time, it wasn't really helping me with my skills. So I had to seek out like little projects of my own. Thankfully, I made some friends in the film program, and when they graduated, they came down and they were struggling for jobs as well, right? Because especially in the Greater Toronto area, there is like little to no jobs in that area unless you're doing something for yourself. And one of our graduates from our year actually decided to start doing something for himself because he loved skateboarding, he loved beer, and he loved coffee. So he took a love of all those three and decided to grab a camera and just start shooting. And like in retrospect, like I feel like I kind of should have done that with either martial arts, like learning Japanese, learning anything really. Because if I were just to hit the ground running with it and make mistakes and just keep going on, I would have probably like honed my skills and like been able to keep up with, I guess, more camera operation like skills in the industry. However, that's not to say like I haven't been doing anything. Like I've been doing some random music videos. I can't remember. This is like years ago, but I've been doing some music videos. I've been a camera operator on them. Just recently, I think last year, I was a camera operator for a friend's film production. It was like a horror film. Yeah, so one of my friends from the film program. She graduated like a year after me, and then she decided to start up her own production company. And she's right now she's writing a script for her third short horror film. I shot, I believe, the first one. She found someone for the second one, but I think she wants me for the third one. We still have to like talk about that when I get back to Toronto. But yeah, I've been doing that. I've been also taking like with my cell phone, granted, but I want to get your opinion about that. Okay, I have like 2 more minutes. I have so much things to say.
It's good to know, honestly.
No,
like, it's sort of
go.
Like, one of the things that I've always thought about too is not saying that like in this program, if you go out and you, there's the reality that you can do an internship, but you might not get a job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's just with any program in general,
Yeah.
And one thing that I've come to terms with sort of in like the past couple of months is the fact that like, I just gotta work on anything, like if whether it's just like film something on my computer or make like an animation in After Effects, like any little thing that can kind of progress my skills into a certain area.
Stop motion animation is, I'm sorry to say it, it's just the worst. I want to say a bad word just to like surmise my
but you hate
angst with it, but
Yeah.
it's just the worst
Yeah.
because like you're just, and then you're here, and then your muscles get tired, and then you're like, oh, that's not the right shot. Okay, I got to do this again. I got to get in focus again.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, breathing gets you through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's bad. It's sad. The reality is like sometimes it just won't work out, but you just got to keep hunting, keep looking out for it. Like I've been like I've been about almost 10 years looking for like a broadcasting job, and it's not just that, not just me beating myself up about it, but like my parents are constantly like, not constantly reminding me, saying, hey, you went to school for this, why don't you look for a job in this? It's not the same. It's not this, like back in their age there was a need and a demand for people to like operate cameras and like edit stuff and put stuff out there for the news. Nowadays everybody has like a medium to do it by themselves, so you don't really need that much people, that many bodies. So how are you going to thrive in this industry? And like being in the digital media production program, I think that it's well-rounded enough that you're able to, if you're not able to do a camera, or if your camera's not your strong suit, or even if you're good in camera, but you're able to do something else like maybe editing, post-production, sound production, which is a huge industry. It's huge. I'm really glad that this program is like able to tackle all different areas of the industry and like kind of give you like a little bit of snippet, but they kind of help you explore what you like to do, right? And still make sure that you still have the skills that if you don't do what you like to do, you can still do something else.
That's true.
Right? Going back to, sorry.
I love it. No, that's great.
Going back to how Adam, year 2025, there was, in my year, I had a guy who was like 32 and just starting out with us. And then we had a grandmother who was 50 years old, and she was starting out. No, I think she was like 58 years old.
Yeah.
She was starting out with us, and she was keeping up with us. And she shot her own documentary. Like she was like a person short. Like I don't know. I guess it was just like the bad luck of like the amount of people in our program. But she was like a person short. So she shot and edited her documentary by herself. And like
That's awesome.
it was really like Val. I forget what her last name is, but Val, if you ever watch this, like kudos to you. Like my heart goes out to you. You're like the greatest. Like you're amazing. Like you consider yourself to be like an elderly person, but you still like thrived in this program. And her handprint's up on the wall. If you should go take a look at it. Like I don't know if she wrote a quote or underneath it, but like she's really, really amazing. Also another person, there was a couple of people actually who I found like kind of very nice, like inspiring in my program. Holly Alexandra, who is I believe she was working for Global News. I'm not sure right now, but she was really nice. She was really gung-ho. She won, I think, the Rory McAvoy Award. There was another person who shot my documentary with me, or not shot, but like she was the director of our documentary. Her name was Chung Fei, but she was from China. But I guess her Canadian name was Sophie. Sophie Hua was like, she was a storm. Like,
Yeah.
do you have any like I guess dominant personalities in this program that people that just walk in, take charge, and know what they're doing, like lead the rest of the group? So do you have any people like that?
Oh man,
Yeah.
I feel like we do. If I had to, I don't know,
First person that comes
to mind. Honestly, I'm thinking like he's in the control room there, Carson. Like I don't know, I don't know, like it's crazy because like he's the one person who like Mike would like look out for like for After Effects tutors and stuff, you know. And so like he before coming to the program, he's already had like experience like in high school. He worked with After Effects,
that's
like
beautiful.
Premiere and just working with stuff. And so he comes in and like everybody asks him for help, like with like an animation in After Effects or anything. He'll be like, "Oh, you can do this, or you can do this," or even in like photography. Like I'm working with him for one of our client projects,
nice.
And that's our client is just solely on photography, and that's something that I'm kind of new with, and like that I'm trying to constantly learn with. And Carson's like totally open to teaching.
It's so much fun, honestly, especially. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to. Oh my god. All right, really quickly. What are your thoughts on DSLRs versus cell phone pics? Because like cell phones are coming out of the gate with like hard and strong. Hard and strong. Oh my goodness. We'll just leave that for people to interpret. But hard and strong like specs on their cameras, and especially the rear-facing cameras versus the front, the selfie camera. What are your thoughts on where the I guess where the market's going to lead to? Like, are people going to more give up their DSLRs and the big rig cameras for the cell phones? Because cell phones, yes, you're able to do a lot with them, but they have to do a bunch of more other things. Whereas if you have a camera, you're just focusing on camera. You set your camera up on a tripod. You know it's there for that one purpose. If you set your cell phone up on a tripod on this side, you know you're gonna get interruptions. You're gonna get like like I got like 5 notifications just now. Like right, if I was filming, it would like affect the shot, right? And then in post, how would you edit that out? Would you add an effect to it? Like I just want to get your thoughts on it.
Well, like definitely with cameras, I think a DSLR is still the way to go. Like if you want to do photography, but like any camera which you have on you is the camera which you need in the moment. So like say it's like, oh my god, like I need to take this picture, but I don't have my Nikon. You know, your cell phone works in that functionality, but just versatility wise, like if I'm vlogging and my cell phone's on me but not my DSLR, then that's what I've got. And because it's on me all the time, it's a different sort of situation. But
it's funny. It's still sort of new to me a little bit, but with my phone camera specifically, like I have a Galaxy S9.
Okay.
And I can't remember. I bought a Canon. What is it? EOS Rebel or something like that. It's
T5.
T5. I think it's what it's called. I bought it off Dennis, and I have to admit, I would like what you guys are saying. Like Adam was saying, camera in your pocket, like for the moment, absolutely. But like I would much rather use something that is just solely dedicated to taking photos. Like if I had to showcase anything, I would rather take it on a DSLR and then edit it in Lightroom and work on that. Like if like anything that I do with my phone, like it's fine, but just the quality of a DSLR, like for me at least, like that's my way to go.
Sorry, what's Lightroom?
Oh god.
That's an Adobe editing platform where you can dump all of your pictures into it and then edit them from anywhere. So like say if Carson's logged into his Lightroom on the lab, and he puts all of his pictures there, but then he goes home, he doesn't need to put his like SD card back in. They're just there.
So it's kind of like a cloud type of editing software.
Yeah.
You know what? I just had a thought. What time is it?
I don't even know. What time is it?
It is 12:32.
There might be another DMP grad outside.